If you are a man and saw another man talk shit about someone he doesn't know, first of all, which I wasn't going to do here anyways, when you see him do it, not knowing me, and then off of a picture, measure as all men did, put your foot in your mouth and walk backwards, and then deny what you just said, you either a or you're a or you're a mother.
Yo, it's your boy, it's Phil Wham Bam Benamino. It's another Wham Bam Wednesday, the show about ordinary people who have done extraordinary things. And today is no different. But before we get started, as always, baby, show us some love, man. Go ahead and subscribe. Click the link down below, hit the alert button, let everybody know about us because we're bringing you this awesome content. And today is no different. If you're a man out there, a single guy, or just somebody that's struggling with relationships, struggling with yourself, not knowing what to do, turn up the volume because today's guest I got here in the studio, here in Las Vegas. We're at level 9. I got AZD with us in the house. What's up, Arash?
What's up, brother? How you doing?
Good, man. Good to see you, man.
Great to see you.
Listen, I want to ask you real quick. Tell the viewers, get right to it. How did you become a master of relationships?
Well, how I did it is not known to me, to be honest. I tried to handle my life. And so a big part of it was women, we're men. How it happened, I don't know, because I think I see so many people walk similar steps as me, and I question how I did it, right? So I just, the basic would be I read books and went to lectures and studied YouTube and then worked on myself. But, that's a general term. I don't know how it happened.
So let's talk about the obvious real quick.
Yep.
The tattoos. Cover it up all over the face. Tell us a little bit about that. What made you do that? And typically, what's the story behind it?
Well, it's interesting because the first thing people get is they think I've been to jail. It's like that guy's been in jail, right? No problem. I haven't, at least yet, right?
You haven't?
No.
Man, I've been to every jail in Atlanta.
Yeah,
so that's good news. That's good. Yeah, it's good.
No, but really what happened was the original inspiration I don't think matters with the first one, but what does matter is that each tattoo was when you could say, overcame some kind of a personal demon.
Gotcha.
Some personal problem.
So you have something with each one of them.
Oh yeah, every single one would be, let's just say, I have one that says pain is my salvation. It's really big on my back, right? And I had my heart so broken that I didn't even know what to do, bro. I didn't want to drive the streets. All I could think about was the heartbreak, but there was nothing I could do about it. So then finally, I had met her at her work, whatever. So I ended up at her work doing it was like a hairstylist, right? And then she comes in. And so I had been like really planning how to fix this thing, right? We like really planned it out. Her name was Karina, if you're watching. And she's
a hairstylist. You're not there to get your hair done, clearly.
No, but
right?
I knew the girls.
Okay.
I had been good talking to girls, so I had friends there. I go there. They set us up, kind of thing, right?
I got you.
And so then she shows up, and she was looking so beautiful in a sundress, and I like light up inside, right? And I try to talk, and then she goes out and goes into a car with a guy and takes off, and I found out it was a date. I was already not feeling good, right? But now I was like embarrassed too because I had showed up and told all the friends that were girls, my plan, this and that. She comes in, and I think she's in agreement because they brought her in. Like, come in. Right? She leaves, but she comes in with a guy. She leaves with a guy, and I'm like crushed. My soul is crushed, right? And so it's just hurting so bad. I had already gotten tattoos for martial arts. Let's say if I had overcome some kind of fear or something, I would go get a tattoo of like an animal, like reminded me of it or something. Long story short, I remember I just drove to the first tattoo shop, and I thought to myself, this pain is so much, let's see if the pain of the tattoo will hurt more or less. What am I going to get? So I go and not even knowing what the fuck I'm going to get, right? And so, it's a new tattoo artist. They're looking kind of weird about giving you a tattoo when you're emotional.
You didn't put her name on you. Tell me you didn't put her name.
I wrote really big, pain is my salvation, my savior. Because when I got there, I was still fucked up. And it started to hurt. And what I quickly realized is that they could both hurt. There was a physical, and it was like, ow, oh, ow. Like, when this would stop, this would start, And it was like, okay, now I just double fucked myself, right? And at some point in there, it wasn't like I surrendered, because then later on, I studied this book called, it wasn't that I surrendered. I just got so angry, right? At myself and my situation, at what the fuck I'm going through. And I kept thinking about her getting in the car, and she was like gloating almost, like, you know what I mean? Like, you see what happens when We get in an whatever, some shit like that. And I just said, okay, so this is what's going to happen. When this is over, every time I feel this pain, I'm going to tell myself it's my saving grace. But I'm going to have to figure out what that is now. It became like a puzzle that kept my mind occupied.
You know, it's funny because a lot of times people say, people that have tattoos, especially on their face, is because they don't like themselves.
Oh, interesting.
Okay? They feel like they're not worthy of certain things in life. They don't like what they see in the mirror. So they want to cover. So now they want to cover. Is that true?
I used
really?
to like what I see in the mirror.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was a good-looking guy.
Yeah. Well, you still.
I am now. I'm sexy, but I was like a good-looking guy. Yeah,
I get
like
it.
a good-looking, clean guy.
So do you regret having the tattoos?
No. I think regret should be used for like wronging people, not putting shit on your face. You know what I mean? Or buying some dumb shit. But for me, it's the opposite. I got it not because I didn't like myself. I actually, part of it, when it started going on my face, was I realized whoever was outside of me, called they, here's me, they didn't like me. And so, fuck it, right? Now that I've been outcasted already, right? Now I don't want to belong to your group anymore. So I started to get tattoos a long time ago. Now you see a lot of this, right?
Right.
But that's not what I was doing.
Well, it's different. It's kind of funny because after marriage of 24 years, I actually got divorced and I actually went in and got this one as well.
Then you understand.
You know, exactly. And it was the whole pain thing, like you said. It was transforming. It was like, this felt like nothing.
There's a good word for it. These are marks of transformation.
That's right.
That's the first time someone said it right.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. But I think more and more people look for that. So whether it has some sort of a meaning, you know, this one, my father passed, was my best friend. Yeah. You know, so this was, you know, he was my Hall of Famer.
That's
you know, type of thing. Right. So
listen to the Hall of Fame.
That's right.
You know that song?
That's right. Yeah.
You know what happened in the car right now? Music is a big part of my ritual of what I call tapping in to the divine.
Music is big.
Yeah. And on the drive, we always do this. We all kind of like pray and meditate, right?
Nice.
And the music is very specific to what I do. And I'm going, and guess what happens?
What?
I stop on the song Hall of Fame.
That's the one.
That's why I just sang
How
it.
ironic.
And I said out loud, whoever was in the car would vouch for it. I said, that's interesting. This song is coming up. Let's just play it and see what it's about. And I played it and I listened, and now he's the Hall of Fame.
See?
And you know the song.
Yeah, God works in funny ways, man.
Yeah. That's right.
Sure,
it's called a divine comedy, by the way. That's the code of life.
So back home, I'm kind of, you know, important. I actually was in the Hall of Fame.
For what?
For football and
really?
Sports, yeah. So my father, who, you know, was elder at the time when he was alive, he's like, you know, if they had the Hall of Fame back then, when he played, he goes, I would be in the Hall of Fame too.
Righteous.
And I said, you know what, Dad? You're in my Hall of Fame.
Boom. That brings
that's
tears.
What it was. Exactly.
Tears have to push down on that. I felt it.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Absolutely.
I have a question on that. You can't just breeze over Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
As a football player. Well, what?
I was in high school. You know, it was high school. You know, I was.
Which is you're even hungrier.
Yeah, of course. You know, high school, I played in college as well. Didn't want to give it up. If I was 6'2", I might have still been playing.
Wow.
But, you know.
What position did you play?
Linebacker.
Why?
Yeah.
Size or love for it?
Love to hit. That's why we got Wham Bam, baby. I was a guy that they sent down the field, the wedge breaker.
Would you say this podcast, Wham Bam, is related to that?
Oh, 100%.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
How it
yeah. Trickles in. That's what it all became.
Dang. I wonder where it's going to be in 15 to 20 years.
Wham Bam Benamino. I know.
Wow.
Maybe my son Rocco will end up doing something with it.
You have a son now?
Oh, yeah. Rocco.
Wow.
So.
Well, how'd you name him Rocco?
You know, I'm a big Rocky guy.
Yeah?
Underdog. Been doing the I Can'ts my whole life.
Do you still listen to Eye of the Tiger?
Hell why not? Who doesn't? You know what I'm saying?
I wonder that.
Absolutely. So, but yeah, man, you know, being a big Rocky fan, of course, my wife at the time wasn't going to name him Rocky, so we settled on Rocco.
Would you have done it?
Hell yeah, I would have done it. Hell yeah, I would have done it. That's what I'm talking about. Absolutely. So 100%.
Hell yeah. Right on, dude, that's cool.
Now listen, I know you're Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, you're black belt.
Yeah, I'm a black belt under Sandro Batata.
Yeah, you're a badass.
It could be in some fields.
Do you fight at all? Do you compete at all?
No, I don't anymore. You know, there's different now I've been in martial arts for a long time.
Yeah.
I started under Master Ernie Reyes. He's very well known, Hall of Fame actually.
Yeah.
And then I went under Batata, Sandro Batata, under Gordo, John Jacques, Carlos Gracie Jr., Carlos Gracie, and the lineage of the Gracie family,
yeah.
right? So there's a G somewhere in here. It looks like a triangle.
Yeah. Yeah, I see.
Yeah. So I
It's
remember
not a
when I
tear.
was studying pedophilia online, where these people are touching the kids. This is their symbol. It looks like it, and I was fucking flipping out, bro, because I'm like, wait, do I got a
Interesting.
pedophilia on me or some shit? Anyway, so this is I like to start with. This is a G for the Gracie family, because you know, that's one of the things I learned.
Yeah.
Transformation is my thing, because I had to transform myself, and to survive now the way I survive, which is thrive, really. I'm a master of transforming myself in the moment.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna reflect exactly what's there at the proper angle to be able to harmonize with it and put it in the right order so that everybody wins fast, really fast, right? And so you could say, what are we talking about? Jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
I had one direction, which was to be a champion. BJ Penn, everybody heard of BJ?
Yeah, BJ.
So I come from the same school BJ Penn came from,
Yeah.
Huff Gracie.
Yeah.
And during the time I
Were
started,
you in Hawaii?
I was in Mountain View,
I know,
California.
he worked out a lot there as well. Yes.
In fact, the person who started him was a good friend and teacher of mine, Tom Callis.
Gotcha.
This was cool. The
Yeah, yeah.
But anyways, they would compare me to BJ as a white belt, which is a young belt or whatever, right? Because I had the same style, flexibility, and so I'm thinking I'm gonna become a champion.
Yeah.
I'm not good at competition when it comes to that.
Why?
Good. I've asked myself this for a long time.
Yeah.
And the answer now that I know, because I know myself more now, is because it involves hurting another person.
Is
the way
it?
I do it.
Or is it you're afraid of the loss?
Well, I thought I was afraid of the loss. I really did, you know, but I know myself a lot more now. It's not that loss that I'm afraid of. The match doesn't bother me. It's losing the spirit of the martial arts, because that's why I went into it. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I didn't go into it to be a champion. I went to it because I was a refugee from Iran. At 4.5, we escaped the country because it was a revolution. So my dad comes to the United States and tries to get us here. My mom and I have to go through Syria, Turkey, England, and some of the Kuwait, and then Nebraska. Five different locations where I had to go to school, right? Get my ass kicked everywhere. And so I remember clearly one time
Did you
when
get bullied a lot? Did you get beat
all
up
the
a lot?
time.
All the time?
All the time.
Why?
I would now. There's a lot of people that would like to bully me. I can see it.
Well, that's because you're a target, right?
Exactly.
They're going to bully you with your crew that you got behind
So check
you.
this out. I used to be a target.
And they don't realize that you really don't need the crew. You know what I'm saying? You're more dangerous probably without them.
Well, that's the thing. The thing is, and everybody knows, I haven't been to prison, but my brother has been in prison for a long time. And that's one of the things I know from prison is, like, you could be a badass, but 3-on-1 is going to be difficult to beat. So numbers in the jungle, especially we're tribal, you know, one gorilla against 10 chimpanzees is going to have a hard time. One bear against 10 wolves. So I have numbers also. And that's important because, like you said, I am a target because I guess that's what it takes to be some big shot like I am. Kid Rock song, you know what I mean? God knows why, that one, right?
I got you.
I guess that's a price you pay to be some big shot. Like, I get it. But remember, I was already a target when I wasn't a big shot.
Right.
I was weakling and I was still a target. I'm still a target, but now I'm a danger. You see the difference? They never changed their targeting fucking instruments.
Yeah.
They would lock in on me and pop, pop, pop. Now they lock in on me and they go, well, let me consider, because he could shoot back.
Right.
He has defenses. So, and that's important for me because when I teach this philosophy, I want everyone to know you don't have friends right now, and you don't have relationships right now. You have to be so solid in your relationship, so solid. If you're a Christian, you have to have the same faith that Job had. If you're a Buddhist, you have to have the same discipline and faith that Buddha had. If you go on, you pick it. Even go to the devil, right? You're gonna have to have something where you're no longer worried about it. The worry means it's not yours. I don't worry about my hand walking away tomorrow, right? Or my legs leaving me. Something could happen to your relationship that's, injury. But if you have a problem, somebody leaving, because I'm in relationships and I don't have that fucking problem anymore. I did, right? The kid who was abandoned his whole life now has the privilege as a punishment, instead of hitting someone, to just abandon them and not talk to them anymore. That hurts more than any punch I've ever hit anybody.
Sure.
So it became the art of fighting without fighting.
It's kind of like, the old saying, if, you're mad at somebody, you can call them up and blow up their phone all the time. If you just leave them alone, that hurts them worse.
That's right.
Because they're wondering, what do they think?
Not important enough. You know what I mean? Like, what's going on?
Like, oh, they just moved right on. They don't. It
And that's
doesn't
the
bother
secret
them.
on a breakup with a woman.
Yeah.
Stop texting her.
Yeah. Be
For
done
real.
with it. Be done. No, you're right.
Right? And so you have to have options as a man because women have options.
Right.
If you're dating a beautiful woman, you saw my date. We ran each other the show,
Yeah,
right?
it was so funny.
She's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Right? Dressed in a red dress, legs, face, everything. 100. Okay, so let's say her and I get in an argument when we're out. She can walk 10 steps and have another guy.
Mm-hmm.
Am I going to walk 10 steps and have another girl? Maybe 15. That's the thing.
Right.
Maybe 4.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't have to even walk.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I'm at now.
Right. Because you have confidence in yourself.
Well, yeah,
Something you
that's part
probably
of it.
didn't have before, obviously. So,
Okay,
and
so
that's
here's-
kind of where I want to go. I want to go back. I want to
Yeah.
go back in time a little
Let's
bit.
go.
Because I want to learn your
Yep.
journey.
Sure.
I want to hear about your journey
Hell
as a
yeah.
kid. You talked about your parents, talked about being bullied a little bit,
Yep.
you know, getting over here in the States, everything. Let's hear about that journey. Okay.
go into it.
Let's go back in there. Tell me growing up, why and what has happened to you which led you to where you are today.
Well, if I was going to do milestones, right?
Yeah.
I was born with a big family in Persia, in Iran. Loving and all that. Very, very loving. A lot of cousins, 20s, 30s, 40s. Too many to count.
Yeah.
They were all black belts in Taekwondo.
Every one of them? Amazing.
I was told that. I don't know.
Right.
I'm a kid. They're all
Right.
black belts, right?
Yeah,
They're all
right.
older and they're all doing crazy shit.
Sure.
And Taekwondo, especially during that time in my country, was very hardcore. So like, let's say my departure in the airport, which I was 4.5 when I had to leave. I didn't know what's going on. I could just tell everybody's crying. And my mom said, we're going. And why is everybody fucking crying? I had a cousin who was supposedly the best in the market. Everybody knew he was the best one. And he had taught me here and there nunchucks and little things at 3, 4 years old. And then I knew it was serious when
You say that, so I was just like 3 or 4. They're teaching us, weapons.
Yeah, well, that
3 or
was the
4.
thing. It was with Bruce Lee. I would go to their house, Bruce Lee, and the nunchucks, and then they would. I'm doing that because I remember when my cousin said, "Do you want me to kick the chandelier?" It was like light, I'm a little kid,
Right.
And so he touched it, moved back, and he did it's called a jump front kick, and he broke it like fucking Danielson or some shit, and he got in trouble, right? And they would do these things, get in trouble. But the one that was like the most skilled, he was the oldest, sharp-looking cousin, that guy you admire as a kid. So he's at the airport. He says to my mom, can I take Arash real quick? And I'm like, whoa, like this is different. He's my cousin, but I could feel it. He seems very serious. He walks me around the airport and he says to me, what would you like to see me do in martial arts? Because I'd always ask him, he'd be like, no. I was like, break this, break that, do this. No, jump here. No. I would hear stories of it. And I said, I want you to break a rock. He said, break a rock? I said, yeah. He looked around. And he said, pick a rock. So I picked one. He goes, that's too little. Something I can break. So I picked, it was like kind of jaggedy.
Mm-hmm.
I remember he held it and he hit it a few times and then it kind of cut his hand. He started bleeding. I remember how that looked. It kind of like took the skin, right? And then he went, don't worry about it. And then he broke it. I don't remember what he said to me after. I was so impressed, right? We went back and that stuck in my mind. That was like, he was like a freaking superhero.
Right.
And then the stories they had told about him became a little bit more real. The shit they would say that he would do. They would say like my cousin would jump from the roof just for fun, a roof of the house and land. And his legs were that strong. And he was just cool guy. Stuck with me. Now ready? I'm about to get bullied. I'm leaving the country and I go to the first country may have been Syria or Turkey.
Okay.
We're hiding. But somehow
Why
I gotta
are
go
you
to daycare. Well, because we escaped the country. They were doing a revolution. It would be like if suddenly some country like China was like, nobody can leave.
I mean, time was different back then. Now,
1986 or something.
Yeah, okay.
Right? 85. No, 86 when I got to, so like 80s, right? I was born in 77, would be 80, 81, right? So anyways, now I get bullied. I go to a daycare and you look different, you don't speak the language, you get beat up, right? But I don't want to tell my mom. Come back, okay? Get bullied again. Don't want to go to school. What am I supposed to do? Where the fuck is that? And what are we doing here? Right? Why I'm not going home? And she's nervous, so then we go to another country, Turkey, same thing. Then say, okay, so this kid now is ready to get beat up. But not only that, we end up in Western countries that have dogs, and I'm afraid of dogs.
Really?
So I dodge dogs. I dodge girls because what the fuck is a girl? I didn't grow up like that, right? And people. I'm fucking scared. Then I'm scared of nighttime when the dark comes, right? Now I know because I do actually see spirits. I do. That's why I am who I am. Well, as a kid, I'm also seeing it, but whatever. So I'm going through just shit through my whole life. However, true to me being here, some divine force has been taking care of me too, right? And that's a fact. And if I had any other message to anybody is, watch this. If you heard that right now and you felt something inside, there it is. It's a tuning fork. Boom, boom. If you felt it, I guarantee also you, whatever statement was. It would be a feeling inside, like elevation. Yeah, spirit watching over me. Either I like that felt good. I thought about that. I hope that's true. Any of that is a clue. So I began, because I was an introvert, I had no friends.
So you talked about spirits hitting you at night.
Mm-hmm.
Evil ones, good ones. Which ones?
Now,
Both?
Yes.
I mean,
yes, it would be like the human world.
Okay.
We see good and bad people, right? As above, so below. It's the same thing. It's in the Bible. We're in the West, so I'm going to use the Bible as an example.
Sure.
If we were wherever we were, we could use those books. But the Bible is very clear. There's a spiritual war taking place, and there's demons and angels.
I believe in that. I believe in all that.
And that's the thing. When I started talking about it,
100%.
I haven't met a person who doesn't believe in it yet. Did you know that?
No.
I've been really vocal about it recently.
Yeah.
Very vocal.
Yeah.
It was like coming out of the closet kind of thing. Yeah. So
It's hard
everybody
not
knows.
to.
Yeah. So we've all experienced it, but we were told it's something else.
Mm-hmm. It's like just 3 scratches. You get 3 lines. That's.
I had a very particular experience. I know people who have that still.
Mm-hmm.
I had the experience of in the middle of the night, suddenly sitting up in terror and screaming or yelling at the top of my but my voice wasn't coming out. So my inner experience would be like, and then, and you would hear the end of the, and I would sit up. Somebody runs in the room if I'm younger, or then it was with girlfriends, and it was like, oh yeah, that happens. But something would happen. The edges of my body here and here, all the way, would be burning, hot, and welty. So I'd go, because I sleep in my underwear, I would go and put cold water and just sometimes get in the shower. And I was like, what the fuck, man? Later on, just not too long ago, maybe less than a year.
I need to get some holy water, man. I need to spray. You
let me
down,
let me tell you what I think it was. I didn't think it was demons like that. I think demons we call extraterrestrials demons.
Yeah, but there are, man. They're out there. I believe that.
Of course.
I believe that for sure.
Of course.
There's good, there's bad.
Of course. Just like anything, right?
You're right.
So I think this was a UFO experience later. This was the entering of the atmosphere and the radiation burn. When I began to think like that, because New Age movement started happening, the more language of UFOs started happening, right? I began to look at it through that language to see if it fits. All the experiences began to fit. Mm-hmm. Then at some point recently, I ended up looking at my life through the Bible, never having even had any desire for it, right? And I saw all my experiences fit through the Bible. When that happened, something clicked in me. All these books fit my experience. I can see there's a code inside everything people say and do. It's kind of like the Matrix. As this is happening, this code of romance, you could say, if I was going to call it, I would call it romance. Romance is a thing, right? And it's dead, or it needs resuscitation.
It's a good thing.
It's so powerful.
It is a very powerful thing.
Let me tell you how romance would translate into this discussion. When you talked about your father in the Hall of Fame, that's a romantic, not a sexually romantic, it's the feeling of what romance would be. This deep connection.
Kids today don't know what romance is, dude.
Thank you.
But let me tell you why.
Yeah.
Okay, here's my theory on it.
Yeah.
They don't interact anymore. They want to text each other. That's their conversation.
Even that's becoming less and less and smaller and smaller and smaller.
It's absolutely horrible. Just go to a restaurant and look around.
Yeah.
You don't see anybody having a conversation, talking to people anymore.
How about in their own homes?
Yeah, exactly.
Relationships are relationships are built on conversation.
Absolutely, absolutely. I remember growing up, Italian family, big Italian family. That's what we did. We talked around the dinner table.
It's so fun, man.
And that's how you found out what was going on throughout the day.
That's a podcast like this.
Exactly. Yep. Exactly. So, now you don't know what's going on these days with these kids. So
they don't know. You listen, Bruce Lee said it best. Bruce Lee was one of the first people that I observed this power in. To me, if you ask me what I teach, okay, it would sound like this. I wrote a little invitation for my class, and it would make sense here, okay? This would take 1 minute to read.
What's the title of the class?
The title of the class keeps changing depending on what's going on. Right now, what are we calling it? Game.
Game?
So, no, but it's not a title. We don't
How
have
about
it yet.
Get Game?
What? Right now, because it comes to
because they
me.
need game, right? Is that what it's about?
We could call it Get Game for now, but it's, until the name comes.
All right.
So I want you to hear what my language to my people is. If I wasn't going to censor it, what do I teach? It's about 1 minute and 30 seconds. Is that okay to read?
Go ahead. Absolutely.
All right, because I would say it.
Yeah.
But I wrote it, so it'd be easier this way. All right. Men of Earth. What if I told you that the legends you've heard The stories that have woven themselves into the very fabric of your culture are not mere fantasies. What if the Jedi and the Sith, the guardians of peace and the wielders of chaos, were not mere figments of imagination, but realities waiting to be claimed? And that's a very important word, to claim a reality. What if the Force, that ancient and mystical power, coursed through your veins, waiting for you to awaken its might? Imagine a world where you could bend the very fabric of reality to your will. Now, you met me on a first date with somebody. If I go through it,
Wasn't me, folks. I didn't bring him on a date.
No,
I met him out
he was
in
out.
public.
He was out. I was out. I was on a first date.
I
right?
was on a date. He was on a date.
She is a testament of everything I'm saying. And my friends and students are the witnesses, so I'm not just airing bullshit here. What I'm saying is real. When I say, imagine a world where you could bend the very fabric of reality to your will. Why would that be the case? If you went to some club and you saw a really hot girl and you wanted her, what if you, using your will and your communication, your vibration, frequency, all that other stuff that we use, were able to truly create a connection where she wants to be with you? Like, not for your money, not for your look, just like, what is that connection? That's the Force we all feel. We feel it here. It's building.
You know, it's so funny, and you use a main word there called connection.
There you go.
Okay, because, you know, I can't tell you how many times people misconstrue. They think that, oh, she's only at him for his money.
Of course they're going to
She's
think
only
that.
at him for what he has. Maybe not.
For me, I like
Maybe
it when they
not.
look at me and they go, why the fuck is she with him for? I create that
Right.
effect.
Yeah,
Figure
right.
it out, motherfucker. He must be famous. For what, though? For what am I famous? Answer that question, and you'll be following with a camera, too.
No.
And that's it. Why am I famous? You ask me. Look, is it because No, I'll tell you why. Because I've lived my life using a philosophy, and I've communicated it.
Why not you, though?
I'll tell you
Why
why.
not? Why can't you be famous? Why not you?
I want to answer that.
Yeah.
Because everybody would like to be me, and nobody could do it.
Yeah.
That's why. Because it's a prize so worth it that so many men are trying for, to be able to go and get the most beautiful woman to fall in love with you, to have righteous friends, to be able to walk through land without any ego, without total confidence, godlike, ambition, second to none.
So you believe
Nothing like that.
believe you can get any girl. You feel like you can walk up
If
to
I
any girl.
conversate with her,
Yeah.
and let's make it an
You're like Fonzie. You're like Fonzie from Happy
Way
Days
better.
back in the day.
Way
Way
better.
better than Fonzie.
Way better.
Hey.
Yeah, he's weak.
All right.
But here's how it has to be done. It has to be played like this, and the answer is 100% yes. On challenge anybody on this thing, okay? To prove me wrong, if you can, please. I need to know if I'm true. That's why everybody's here.
Yeah.
I invited the world to come see if I was real.
Sure.
And so we'll start living together.
You're real. I'll give you that.
Thank you.
You're real.
So here's what I'm saying. Within this perimeter, she cannot be told that's the guy who says he's going to get you, because that would be weird. That's how you go to a car dealership and he's going to sell to you. That's fucked up. It has to be organic, right? And
Cool word.
yeah,
And
it
a
has to be
misconstrued
organic. There.
Yes.
Can you get that girl?
Yeah.
The second requirement is I need to get in conversation with her. That's not always easy. She has a boyfriend. Who knows? If it's organic and I sit with her in conversation, 5 minutes, or no more than 5, because 5 I can extend to forever, right? Then yes, because women fall in love with your character, first and foremost, right? Analogy, if you take one of the finest women you've ever thought, I mean, just imagine, we're attracted to her physical beauty, right? I could tell her as a man, and I think many men would agree, you, baby, can get any man you want with that face and body. You could have a celebrity, you could have a king, because I'm a man and I know what men want. You don't know that, right? If he knows that, you don't know that, he can manipulate you with his status and power, seeing you have no understanding of what beauty as a value to life is. God created beauty because everything in nature is beautiful. We paint nature, we sit by the sunset, we go by the ocean, we listen to the birds, right? Beauty is God's will, not ugly. If I said, in the middle of the night, a spirit appeared, ready? And it was an angel. It was a righteous, honorable, virtuous angel. Got that? Ready? But it looked like a demon, and it was pussing, and it had teeth coming out of his head, but it was an angel. You would not believe that's an angel. Yeah, fuck no. There's no, that's not an angel. How do you know? Give it a fucking chance. Look at it. At what? at the way it looks, right, you know something I know. I also don't believe that's an angel, right? Now, in the middle of the night, something appears, and I said, that's evil. And you look up, and you see the most beautiful being you could imagine, man or woman, glowing, where you just see beauty. You just go, whoa. I said, that person's evil, don't listen. You go, let me listen to them first. Let me hear them out. They can't be evil, they're so beautiful. Code for Lucifer, right? So, truth is, beauty is a virtue for the gods. And we should know that, because to fix man and woman, we have to stop saying what the mundane, average human being says about their relationship. They're not making it, I'm making it. I'm making it real, well, actually, right? So first, we admire beauty in women. In men, we don't admire beauty. That's not ours.
So let me ask you, real quick. What do you think women want in men?
A man who can lead her and be able to handle her emotional state, and his character has proven that he's not going to suddenly switch where all the security, all the investment she puts in is gone in a second. Women leave.
What do you think that men want in a woman?
Men, we're making general statements right now, but they're going to hit for sure.
We're talking about trophy women right now.
Yeah.
You're talking, let's be real.
But it hit. No woman would disagree with what I said. Go, you put it everywhere. I guarantee it. Okay. Now men won't disagree either, with tiny little quirks here and there. But the main DNA of this thing, right? The formula would be: what do men want? They want a woman first who's beautiful. No man says I would like an ugly girl. Right? I'm really going for that ugly chick right there tonight. Like, whoa, cologne, you got some cologne? Man, get this chick. And that's just not real to us. Now, they have ugly girls for whatever, just like women have guys with weak character, because the code of life wants to go forward. So it's going to go forward whatever the fuck it does, right? But evolution is the real code of life. We have to evolve.
So you don't think women are feeling the same way? They want a good-looking man?
No, not at all.
Okay.
I mean, it's nice. It's like us saying she's beautiful and she's
point.
wealthy.
Yeah.
We don't have to take care of her so much, right? But we don't give a fuck. We want to take care of her. And if you're ugly, let's say, or ugly in quotes, right? But you have a strong character, believe it or not, if you're very powerful in character, she kind of likes that you're ugly and she's beautiful.
I think
because you're not in competition with each other.
I think as a man, though, to me, my version,